in regards to offshore wind and just wind power in general, what's your take on that?
Well, offshore wind and solar, for that matter, are very dilute fuels. In other words, they take up large land areas and produce almost insignificant amounts of energy compared to what the world really needs. So in the last 20 years, offshore wind, or wind in general, and solar have provided less than 5% of the world's energy usage. And that number is not going to change. It'll go down. And the reason that it's so insignificant, solar and wind, is because our growth in energy over the past 10 years, say, has gone up significantly higher than offshore wind and solar could provide. So 2 or 3% for wind, 2 or 3% for solar in the world, that's where we stand now, and that number is not going to change no matter what we do, because most of the world burns fossil fuel.
Okay. So what would you encourage people to do? Is there anything that they can do to get this word out there?
Well, the thing that I'm doing, which is part of a group that's been formed in Rhode Island called the Energy Council of Rhode Island, is basically do the kind of education that we're doing today. It would be great if we could get our local governments and our state governments to sit down and listen to us, but that's very hard to do since most of them have bought into wind and solar as being renewables that are going to run the state and the country. That's absolutely impossible to do, but for some reason they bought in. So what I advocate is a sort of energy policy insurance. In other words, have engineers do something that satisfies both the political conundrum that we're in as well as the physical problem of providing enough energy. And for me, that turns out to be, or for my group, the Energy Council, it turns out to be switch to natural gas as quickly as you can. Rhode Island right now is producing all its in-state energy from natural gas. Go completely natural gas. That cuts your emissions in half immediately. And then in 2 decades, go to nuclear, the small modular nuclear reactors, and do that before China does. We make nuclear submarines here in Rhode Island. Why can't we make the reactors, and why can't we bring in businesses that will thrive on a stable amount of power, like the artificial intelligence farms that Bill Gates and others want to bring here?